Greetings, this is the Arc 2 rule set video. Now, what is the Arc 2 rule set? Now, Arc 2 applies to all of Arc 2, D-Tide, and Arc 2 events and posse stories. So as a new player, you will not encounter these rules unless you do an event story, or an event, or you do D-Tide early on. So Arc 1 rules and Arc 2 rules are different. Now let me go over each of the rules and explain what they mean. Now, Radiant Silver Glow SK Awaken. So, in Arc 2, you do not rouse your units at shops. You do not buy rouses normally. How you rouse, I'm going to show in game. You build up S key, which is why S key is the best stat in Arc 2. You click on your Waker, and here, Key Flare Rouse. Click this, and you pick a rouse. Boom, it makes a rouse at the cost of S key. Now, if you do every additional time you do this, it costs 100% more key flare cap deducted. So as you can see in the spreadsheet here, the second one you can go into the negative as here, and at the fourth one you go into the triple negatives. So it's going to be 3 red bars filled up, and you have to clear that if you want to rouse everyone. That's why in Arc 2, some units are stronger, some units are weaker. Because you get a guaranteed rouse when you want it. But you can't rouse everyone on most teams without a lot of S key regen. And you don't get everyone rouses immediately. That's why Hamel falls off if you have him E0. Because he cannot do much without his rouse. And typically in a team, his rouse does not take priority over other people. So, in this team, for example, I would rouse Tawil for S key, G-Doll, then Hamel, and never rouse Caucus. Like, you're going to have a fourth and a third unit sometimes. You will never rouse. So, your team is going to only have 2 rouses in most cases. Now, also, it's independent of posse. So, sometimes you want to posse first and then rouse because it's cheaper that way. And now let's go to the next effect. Archive Scar. Now, what Archive Scar does is it buffs older accounts. Now, for every posse you possess, meaning every posse story you complete with the daily tokens, you get your power, your relic power increases by 1% up to 50%. So this is just benefits old players. And the second effect, all R-Wheel Destiny effects are modified. Because they found that too many people were using R-Wheels in Arc 1. You following my guide using Costco. They completely nerfed them to the ground. R-Wheels no longer work. Every R-Wheel has the same effect. Increase the possibility of dimensional roll effect by 100%. If you're curious about how much this increases to, it's roughly like a 10% chance at each store to get it now, because the base is like 5%, 3%, around there. Again, I'm not 100% sure on numbers, but it's still very low. It's not guaranteed you're going to get the regular relic. So don't use R-Wheels in Arc 2. They nerfed it. They nerfed Costco. It doesn't work. So you want SR Wheel, and this is why. Now, this nerfs infinite to wheel and comps that go on infinite runs. So after you play 10 cards in a single turn, each card gains 1 stack of whatever. So this serves to nerf infinite to wheel, which is mono to wheel. That's why blue wheel, I use it all the time. So every time you play a command card, inspiration stuff don't count. This counts. So you play this, you get 1 key flare stack of Arithmetica Harmony. After you play 10 cards, cards start becoming more expensive. Now let me try to hit that this round. I probably won't hit it. But here's me trying to hit it. I'm just finding a ways to play cards now. So bear with me. Here we go. Tetra Wing, 6. Let's see. Play that duel. Play one of these. Play one of these. Again, you can't see the boss. I'm just half screening it because all that's relevant to you is the stack on the bottom of the character. So, what are cheap cards here I can do for example? Those two. Play this. So, here. Boom. It transforms into this, Arithmetica Harmony. So, every stack you get 100% of key flare as well. So now, Guardian Vision is a 0. It becomes a 1. Now, a 3 becomes a 4. You play one more card. What happens? You get 2 stacks. The 4 becomes a 5. This becomes 2. So every additional card, it costs more. So eventually you're not going to be able to play cards with mana. So that is what Arithmetic. So that's what that effect does. That's how it nerfs infinite comps. So there are a couple of infinite comps besides the wheel, you know. So it limits the amount of cards you play for more high value cards. It makes heavy teams a little bit better. Now, scroll down. Arithmetic Harmony. This is reduce the effects of increased alien miss percentage by half. So it basically all the alien miss regen stats are nerfed, so that they don't want you to exalt as much and want you to have more value. However, this is important. A lot of people skip this and don't read. I understand you're a gacha player. Some of you, like me, may have played Limbus, and if you play Limbus, you have lost the ability to read. I feel sorry for you. I can't read myself. I'm just seeing from a mind's eye. I'm seeing for the profits right now, and that's how I'm able to convey what this text says. So, at the end of the turn, for every Waker who has not exalted but can exalt, it leaves this out of the translation, but can exalt, meaning that their bar is filled, they have the ability to exalt, they're not sealed. You get passive key flare regen equal to 200% of the team's average key flare. So some units, say Murphy, which holds their exalt in their dick and just prep for the same time, they're like prepping, dude. They're prepping. If you're holding key flare, you get, at Aeomis, you get passive key flare for every Awaker that hasn't exalted but can. It comes into play a few times on a few certain teams, but in case you're curious, now time distortion. This is controversial. I don't think this is good. So they kind of nerf DR. So if you notice, if your team normally goes into an Arc 1 stage with 100% DR because you use a pure Chaos unit, they don't have 100% DR because at the start of the iteration, 7% of your DR is converted to a max HP bonus up to a 300% DR conversion. So this results in a maximum 10% of max HP. So at the very start of combat or start of the exploration, your DR is nerfed and you get max HP and regen to it. So this is their way of nerfing DR a little bit. They don't want you to have like 300, 400% DR like you have in Arc 1 at the very start. They want it to be a bit more rare. That's why a couple of wheels that this provides DR after exploration, if you read some of them, are stronger because it's not effective at this. But any DR you have before the stage starts gets nerfed and converted into max HP. And every time DR is triggered, you get an SS key Gleam card, which is a card that lets you choose an S key. So this is a way to nerf healing comps even more. So not Blue Will. Blue Will heals too much that disinfect, but it nerfs Gellet hard. Gellet comps got fucking destroyed. I was about to use another word, but because I'm me. But every 100% HP recovery of your health, your HP, your heal is nerfed by 25%. However, your DR is increased by 25% flat every time, so you get 75% DR at max if you heal 3 life bars. So you're going to get a 25% healing nerf, then a 50% healing nerf, then a 75% healing nerf. And you get DR every time. So for healing comps, this is a big fat nerf to you. So shields are stronger than heals for Arc 2. You're gonna hit this if you play Gellet. Now Prismatic Lens. Now this is the way to handicap Wanda 24 comps. Cause Ultra 24 Wanda was meta in Arc 1. They were able to reach 50, 80,000 counter. They can't do it in Arc 2. This is why Wanda is very bad on every tier list. Every creator agrees that Wanda is bad because of her flat counter building. And this. You need max HP to make counter poison comps work, which is why Birth is very strong. Now, your max counter is capped to 750% of your max HP. Or 1500. So it's 1500, and if you have more than 750% of your max HP, it gets reduced at every turn by half. So let's say, I'm just going to use an easy example, a very easy example. If you have 100 HP, if you have 100 max HP, you can have 750 counter, and you can have 1,500 counter max. Now if you have 1,500 counter, the excess stacks are half, meaning you lose 375 counter at the end of turn. So to eventually reach the 750. Now, poison, same thing. Max, if you have 100 HP, the enemy can have 1,000 poison on them. But it can stack up to 3,000. If they have more than 1,000, it's halved. like the excess amount is half, just like taxes. As a CPA myself, and you know how income taxes work. Oh, holy shit. We can talk about income taxes in this video, okay? Now, it's like income tax brackets, dude. Your previous tax bracket is not taxed at the newer tax rate. This is so annoying, dude. So, if you're making $100,000 a year, for example, and the next tax bracket is $100,001, your next tax is 32%. It does not mean that your entire $101,000 fucking tax dollar salary is going to get taxed by 32%. No. Your initial $100,000 is going to get taxed under the old base rate, and then any excess, so that $1 is going to be taxed at 32%. Everything else is going to be taxed at the old percent. It's step up basis, dude. Come on, this is taxed. You're welcome, gotcha players. You learn a tax fact. If you make more money, you do not lose money. You make more money still. It's just every additional dollar is taxed more. Your old dollar is still taxed at the old rate. This applies in a gotcha game. I am teaching you. This is an educational channel right now, guys. So recommend this to your 5-year-olds, your like 2-year-olds. Recommend this in grade schools, okay? This is game mechanics in real life. Think of this as taxes, dude. They're taxing your counter, dude. The IRS is taxing your counter, is taxing your poison, dude. So, okay. Now, for every 4% of damage amp, this is why damage amp is very good in R2. Your maximum total is increased by 1%. So this is in tax terms. Think of this as like, you know, having a child tax bracket. So for every children you have, you get like a couple $1,000 to write off in taxes. So this is basically a tax write-off. Even though it's a really bad example, I'm gonna use it regardless because I want to get fully into this tax side, dude. So think of this as like a tax incentive. There we go, a tax incentive. That's a better comparison. So every 4% of damage amp you have 1% tax incentive. So your taxes are lower by 1% each time. This is so stupid, dude. And this is the bonus. So this is your government subsidies to compensate for taxes. So for every awaker that is awakened, you get 25% temporary counter versus permanent counter. So this is how you get counter and poison back. This is a recent buff. So think of this as what your taxes are funding. So also all your taxes, all your nerfs are funding this. So these are your nice roads, your nice government welfare, your nice social security. So this is your social security counter, and this is your social security poison checks, dude. So these are your welfare counter and your welfare poison at the end of term. So I want this video to blow up, and I want everyone to refer to this temporary counter as like subsidized counter, dude. Even though it doesn't make sense, this is our subsidy from the great old Morimens universe. Okay, like Cone of Fear, the last effect. If your team is very slow, your team is dog shit or whatever, you get Light Cone of Fate, which is after 15 turns, you get a special card. It maxes out everyone's exalt, even at over exalt, it maxes out your key flare. That's it. So, that goes for this video. Again, share this video, because I had a great time making this once I figure out a tax comparison to my real life profession here. So, again, think of this as income taxes. Think of this what you get with your income taxes, dude. Okay? Government subsidized counter. Okay, it flares out. This is a great video. I find this hilarious. Okay.